In today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 new Christmas decorating ideas and DIYs. Keep watching. Hello everyone, welcome back to Ramon at Home. I am Ramon, a Christmas design expert and seasonal decorator here to help you feel more comfortable about your designs. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 brand new Christmas DIY decorations ideas, you guys. I'm super excited to bring you a brand new batch of Christmas DIYs to inspire you to create beauty around your home this Christmas season. We're going to start with some beautiful Christmas DIYs, but not before I ask you to share this video with your friends on Facebook, on Instagram, and on WhatsApp. Why? Well, because it is free and it really helps this channel. Also, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, and while you subscribe, don't forget to turn the notification bell on because you will not want to miss the Christmas season for 2024. You guys, I'm so excited. We're gonna get started with a beautiful and simple wreath DIY idea for your front door. You know, I always tell you that you get only one chance to make an impression for your front door, and this is the easiest wreath you'll ever see here on my YouTube channel. Let's take a look. All right, everyone, so for this next Christmas DIY, I want to share with you how easy and simple it is to have a gorgeous wreath on your front door. So I'm gonna start by telling you that we're going to start with a gorgeous wreath. This is our basic wreath, and look how flat this comes, you guys. This is the before of it, and you know that let me put down the trash. You know that what you need to do is grab every single bristle on your wreath, and this really does destroy your cuticles, but it's so worth it because it will look absolutely gorgeous on your front door. I am just having so much fun, you guys, this holiday season. I cannot believe this is already the end of October, beginning of November. I really don't know when this video will come out, but we've been working, me and Jameson, on Christmas since May, you guys. Can you believe that? A lot has happened since May. We had a European trip where we went to Italy, London, and Paris. That was absolutely fabulous and fun, and I just loved it. But as soon as we got back, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw that my grandmother had an accident, and I was at the hospital with her for a whole month, you guys. A whole month. She went in on the 7th of September and came out on the 7th of October. So exactly the same thing. And it just was a little hard watching my 93-year-old grandmother go through that episode. And I have to tell you that she's doing better now. She's at home now. She fell and she had this cut on her leg. Thankfully, there was no broken bones. But I was just so inspired by her because she's so strong, you guys. She's 93 and she is so strong, and her faith is so strong. And I just was so inspired to, continue reading my Bible and having faith in God, because I know that He, like the Bible says, that He binds our wounds and He's our healer. And so I saw my grandmother's faith in Him while she was at the hospital, and I do believe that by the grace of God, she is out of the hospital and thriving, because that fall was a nasty fall. And so I do believe that God heard her prayers and my prayers and everybody's prayers that prayed for my grandmother. So I want us to take a second to say thank you. If you were one of them, you guys, I received so many messages on Instagram telling me about that and how you guys were praying for her. And so I'm just so thankful that she's doing so much better. And I'm so thankful for every single one of you. All right, so now that our wreath is flat, look at the difference. Look at the difference. What we're going to do is we're going to add a few garlands. This is what's going to create this gorgeous wreath. So I have this garland that has a variety of greeneries, and what you need to do is you need to lay this garland right here, like right about there. I'm gonna start right here on the top, and I'm gonna go as far in as I can. I'm gonna grab 2 of the bristles, and I'm going to just twist those real quick. And look what that does. This just creates this bigger wreath, and it has a lot of texture, and that's what I love about a wreath. I love a wreath that has all this texture. And look at that. All it takes is just a garland to create a more beautiful wreath. If you have a basic wreath and if you find a beautiful garland, well, guess what? You too can have an absolutely gorgeous wreath on your front door with all of these textures And all you have to do is grab 2 of those bristles in there and twist them. Look at that. I'm gonna do another one over here. So I have a 4-point attachment, one on the top, one on the bottom, one on the right, one on the left. And this is what's going to really make sure that this is secure. And look at that, how beautiful. And then all you have to do is fluff this other garland that has all these beautiful greeneries. And remember that when we fluff our garlands, we have to go on a clock motion or counterclock motion, because that's what's going to create that wreath shape. So now I have this other beautiful garland that has the berries, and I just love all of these berries. This is going to add a little bit of color and texture as well. Make sure that you go ahead and fluff all of these clusters that come on your garland. Look, it has berries, it has pine cones. There's very few of them in, so you can really take your time to fluff this out and to really make it come alive before we add the rest of the elements to this wreath. And look at that. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bundles. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this top part and I'm going to put it right here. So I'm going to unite those two, and I'm going to create this round shape to lay on top of our other wreath. Actually, you know what I'm going to do, since we do have a bow, so I'm going to do is I'm going to insert this guy right here. So I'm going to start right here on the top, and I want to make sure that I grab some of those bristles as well. And then I'm going to attach the second garland, and look at that, you guys. That is adding so much texture. So now what I'm going to do is going to grab the other end, and I'm going to put it right about here. I'm going to grab another 2 bristles and attach like this. And then I'm going to go in right here. I'm going to grab a bristle from each garland, and I'm going to really tightly attach. And look how easy it was to transform that basic wreath into a beautiful wreath for your front door. And like I said, all you have to do is make sure that all of these clusters are going the same way, and fluff them. Make sure that you fluff these clusters so they can really show on your wreath. Look at this. All right, you guys, so I went through my stash and I have this beautiful Merry Christmas ribbon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a simple loop bow. I'm going to make sure that one of these strands is longer than the other one. So this one's going to be a little bit longer because we want to have that staggering motion. I'm going to pinch right here and I'm going to secure. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab another string of ribbon, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach right here where I folded, and I'm going to create a simple bow like this. I'll make sure that this one faces forward. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a smaller one, and I'm going to gather that as well like that. So that's going to give us, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops or tails. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a zip tie, and I'm going to zip tie all of this together really tightly. And it's kind of hard sometimes when the ribbon is so thick and there's so many layers of it, but just don't let go of that core like that. And before I really zip tie, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive a wire through it to attach to my wreath. So now that I have that wire in there, now I'm going to really pull really tightly. Like I said, this is a really simple wreath, but look how much impact this is going to create. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this wire that I had, and I'm going to go right here in the middle. And don't worry, because we'll fluff in a second, but I just want to make sure that I attach my bow. Look at this. I'm going to attach right here. I'm going to take it off the stand so that I can really attach. I'm actually even going to put it right here. Don't feel bad about flattening it out. You can always go back and fluff everything. Actually, I encourage to always go back and fluff everything before we put it on the door. So I'm going to put that right there. And this little string that is popping up, I'm going to secure right there. So now I'm going to put it back into my stand, and now the finessing begins, right? So I'm going to grab my bow, and I'm going to open it up like this. And then I'm going to grab the longest tail, and I'm going to pinch right about here. I'm going to create this little loop, fold this up, and look at that. Okay, I'm back. I lost my scissors for a second, What I'm going to do is I'm going to dovetail this guy right here to have a tail, a shorter tail, and a second one right here, making sure that I have those there. And then I'm gonna put this guy right here on the bottom, and I'm also going to dovetail like that. And look at that. I absolutely love this. I'm gonna put this in the door and share with you the end result. First, I'm gonna give it a little fluff, make sure that everything's in spot, and I'll meet you at the door. Keep watching. You guys, look how absolutely gorgeous this wreath turned out. I love the simplicity of it, just to show you that you don't have to have a super elaborate wreath. If you don't want to, you know I love my elaborate wreaths, but I just wanted to share with you how simple this was to create with a beautiful ribbon that cascades all the way down. This is Merry Christmas. It is just a basic wreath with two garlands, one with the berries, and they're just absolutely beautiful. The other one with the cedar and the beautiful simple bow in the middle really does create a festive look to it. I absolutely love the way this turned out because it was simple and anyone can make it. If I can make it, so can you. All you have to do is to put those two swags together into a basic wreath form, create a multi-tail bow, and you too can have a beautiful wreath on your front door this holiday season. I cannot wait to read your comments. Now tell me how easy it was to put that wreath together. I'm telling you, just a few garlands, a basic wreath, and a few strings of ribbon, you too can create a beautiful wreath for your front door. So before we move on to the next DIY, I want to take a second to thank this month's brand new members to the channel. Yay! Thank you guys so much. And they are Jackie Roach, Diane Gillespie, The Flaming Apron, Lisa Scott, and Jane Merritt. Yay! Thank you guys so much for becoming the brand new members to this channel. I really want to say thank you because your contribution helps me to continue to create brand new content for everybody to watch. And if you want to support this channel, be sure to become a member. There's going to be a link down below and somewhere on the screen so you can become a member and support Ramon at home. All right, you guys, so now we're going to move on to the next Christmas DIY, which is a fabulous peppermint centerpiece DIY. Let's take a look. All right, everyone, so we're going to start with a beautiful centerpiece on this absolutely gorgeous bejeweled container that, let me give it a little clean because it just came out of storage. I actually found this container at a local boutique store and I just thought it was spectacular for something frosty and candy cane inspired. So that's what we're going to do. I already went ahead and pre-foamed the container and added some moss just to cover some of those mechanics, and I inserted this beautiful this is a yard sign that you can find at your local craft stores. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of these greeneries and I'm going to create more like a line. So as you guys can see, I always like to explain to you that what goes up must come down, and also you might want to rotate your beautiful arrangement as you go, because I want to create a base for all of the ornaments and all of the other florals that we're going to add. And as you guys can see, I'm rotating about 30 degrees, I want to say, because I want to make sure that it has that cascading going down. And I just absolutely love it. By the way, thumbs up for the Christmas season 2024. Are you guys enjoying this year's videos? I'm having a blast, let me tell you, decorating for the holidays, and I cannot wait to share what's coming next with you because there is a lot. Trust me when I tell you, there's a lot still coming up. All right, remember that I always tell you that what goes up basically goes up, and then you're gonna grab another stem and you're going to pull down like this, and then you might want to like make sure this spills forward. So I'm going to grab another one right here. What goes up, and what goes up needs to be closer to our ornament, and then goes down like this, and then just give it a curvature down to create that cascading motion. All right, let me see. I'm gonna save a few. If you've been following the channel, you know that I always like to save a few for the end because you never know what, well, might have to fill in, right? But I do want to make sure that all of the corners have a beautiful stem. And you guys, these picks right here, actually, believe it or not, they are a wreath that I took apart, a beautiful David Christopher's wreath. And look, you get all of these picks with beautiful flocking from a wreath. So I'm going to stop right here. I feel like I need one right here. So I'm gonna insert this one right here to kind of balance this arrangement. I'm gonna bring all of my other elements and I'll be right back with you. Keep watching. All right, you guys, so the next step is going to be to add some of these viral jewels. Aren't these just absolutely gorgeous? I just figured since our container was jeweled, then we can add a few of these beautiful jewels. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab an 18 gauge wire. We're gonna cut it in half like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create kind of a hook like this. I'm gonna grab another one and create a hook. I wanna say about an inch hook. Then what we're going to do is we're gonna go through our ornament. We're gonna go like this, and then we're gonna close that hook as much as we can. And so we're going to use this as a pick to insert our jewel all the way down. And that's going to hold our jewel right in place. So you wanna give it a little bit of a spin. Look at that. So that's gonna create a beautiful statement piece. I'm gonna add another one opposite side. So I'm gonna grab my hook right here. And then I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna make sure that I show this part right here, and I'm gonna go all the way down, creating some support for my jewel like that. And look at that. How cute is that? Now, if you wanted to create more support for it, what you can do is remove one of these stems and then just grab it and put it right there. So that way it'll support your jewel in place. So now we're going to do the exact same thing with some ornaments. So I have a red one right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab my hook. Sometimes because you pre-hook them, which can help, but sometimes it's like you have to open them again. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab one right here. I'm gonna go all the way down, and not this one. I'm gonna let this one hang like that. And then I'm gonna add another one right on top of it, but I'm gonna grab this beautiful candy cane looking one that actually came from, I think, Hobby Lobby, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna add this guy right here on top of my other one. Look how cute is that. So there's three. Remember, we always work in sets of 2s, 3s, and 1s. So I'm gonna put that one right there. I'm gonna spin my arrangement around, and I'm gonna make this sure that this one that has a candy cane is opposite side. So I wanna make sure that it's spilling on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab my ornament and just let it hang down like that. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a few more. I'm gonna add a red one over on this side. You could actually even do two of them. I'm gonna do a big and a small one to kind of cluster them together. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna close that, put him upside down, and just go ahead and insert into my foam. Look how beautiful that is. So I'm gonna move all the way around, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing, but now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add a white one with glitter, and I'm gonna go like this. And then I'm gonna add another one of these little ones, and I'm going to close my hook. Remember, this is kind of like an ornament cluster. And then we're going to go and fill in right there. Look how adorable. But this would not be a Ramon at home unless it had some bows, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab my ribbon right here, and I'm gonna grab my scissors as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go through my plastic. I should have done this before I started this video, but no matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna free my ribbon, and I'm gonna start by dovetailing my end. This is a beautiful 1-inch ribbon, and I always tell you a 1-inch ribbon is your best friend. So I'm gonna do a tail probably about 12 inches. And so I'm going to do a beautiful bow. I'm gonna do one, I'm gonna spin around, and then do another one right here. I want to do a pretty fluffy bow because I feel like this really is calling for it. I'm gonna grab another one, and I'm going to do the same thing. I think I'm gonna do a 6-loop bow. This ribbon, you guys, is from Shinoda Design Center, and I just absolutely love it. It is so crisp. There's nothing better than a crisp ribbon because it really helps you to make those loops really loopy, really bow and really stiff, and that's what really creates that magical look to it. All right, so I'm gonna go right there. I'm gonna cut my ribbon right about here, put it right here with the rest of my ornaments. Now I did get, I'm gonna use maybe a wire. So I'm gonna wire this together right here and pull really tightly, spin around, and look you guys, how cute is this bow? So we're gonna make sure that this one comes like that. But we need something to attach. So what we're going to do is we're gonna grab a skewer and I'm gonna spin around this guy right here, the rest of the wire that I attach with, and that's going to be our skewer. And you can always pull down like this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna fluff this bow before I put it in here. And so now I'm gonna select a spot which is going to be catty corner right here. And I'm gonna go all the way down like this. And then I'm gonna cut the rest of my skewer like that. Look how cute that is. Isn't that adorable? I feel like I need another one over on this side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually put my ribbon right there. I'm going to dovetail real quick. You guys, which one has been your favorite video so far? I've had so many ideas that I'm still working on. This is just the beginning of the season for 2024, and I could not be more excited because, well, Christmas is my favorite time of the year, as I'm sure you know by now. And so I'm super excited to bring you guys so much content for this year for Christmas, and I really hope that you are enjoying it as much as I am, because, well, I make it for you. So if you are watching this point, I would appreciate if you share this video with your friends on Facebook, on Instagram, on WhatsApp, to let them know what's going on here at Ramon at Home for the holiday season. All right, so I'm gonna grab this wire and the skewer, and I'm gonna wire real tight. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this bow over on this side, like this. And then I'm going to dovetail this other guy. Now here's going to be the cute part. I'm gonna lean down and get the rest of my ornaments I want to add to this. You guys, I found these ornaments at, I believe they're from either Hobby Lobby or at home. But what we're going to do is we're gonna take those pesky tags off. I'm gonna use 3 of them. So I'm gonna use 3. I'm gonna take these off like that. I'm gonna put the rest over here. Sometimes it's good to have this right here, so that way you can just put all of the ornaments and stuff in there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab 3 skewers. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna look for that spot where that tag was, and I'm going to go ahead and insert it like this. And look at this. I'm going to go ahead and put one right here, kind of sideways like this. Like that. Look how fun that is. Now we're going to spin it around. We're going to do one more. I'm going to look exactly at that spot because there's a hole already in there. So to make sure they're made out of styrofoam and they're super easy to work with, I'm going to cut a little bit of this stem. And I'm going to go right here like that. And then I'm going to spin around and I'm going to add maybe another one up here. I thought that would be fun. So let me make sure that I put it right in the hole where that came. I'm going to cut a little bit of the stem. And I'm going to add right around here. And just like that, let me clean real quick and I'll give you a close-up. Keep watching. All right, you guys, so here is the end result. This absolutely beautiful arrangement with candy canes and beautiful peppermints and gorgeous ornaments like this one right here. It's just spilling over with absolutely beautiful elements for Christmas, and I just think this would be so pretty on an island in the kitchen, or even on an entryway table, or perhaps even 2 of them side by side on a tablescape with a beautiful setting for Christmas. I absolutely love the way this turned out. I really hope that you did too. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share with your friends. Wasn't that super cute? I love the peppermint theme for this Christmas season, and we've done a beautiful Christmas tree with the elves hanging from a garland. We've also done a beautiful mental swag and a swag for your front door. If you have not seen those DIYs on a peppermint theme, I'm going to link them down below. But now I'm gonna share with you how to create the most beautiful traditional centerpiece for your dining table this Christmas season. Let's take a look. All right, everyone, so for this centerpiece DIY for Christmas, what we're going to need is some beautiful poinsettias in this gorgeous burgundy color. We're going to need a candle that is battery remote operated, our wire cutters. We're gonna use a hurricane. Also, I'm gonna use a piece of garland that we're going to use for our base, a variety of greeneries, and I just have some leftover ones. You know, the greeneries is just to give us texture. I'm gonna use a variety of gold ornaments and some berries. I'm gonna clear this out and I'll be right back with you. I'm gonna bring you closer so you can see how this is done. Keep watching. All right, everyone, so I'm gonna start by sharing that I found these containers at my local dollar store, as well as the foam. You know, I'm always telling you to start with inexpensive materials when it's the base, so that way you can spend that money on the beautiful items. And then also this garland right here was actually a wreath that I took apart. I do that a lot for other projects. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna put this garland right here, and I'm gonna go very tightly, very tightly. I just want to cover my mechanics. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab right here and I'm going to cut this garland right about here. And then what you want to do is you want to grab a bristle from this side and a bristle from this side, and you're going to really tightly attach those together by giving it a spin. And so that way you're left with almost like a wreath around your foam, and that's going to cover those mechanics. Now the other thing I want to do is I'm gonna bring one of my wires like this, and I'm gonna cut, this is an 18 gauge wire. I'm gonna cut it in half, and then I'm gonna cut it in half again to create some hooks. What you need to do is almost like a bobby pin. This is called a floral pin, but you can find them at your local craft stores where you can buy floral supplies. I just ran out of them, so you can also create yours. And what you do is you fold them in half, you grab a few bristles and just insert that into the foam, and that's going to secure this garland. It ain't going to go nowhere because it has all of those pins around. And I just like to do a 4-point attachment. That means that I attach in 4 different spots, and like I said, that's going to hold your garland. Oh, I had 2 trays, look at me. Hey, here's another one for our next project. I'm going to drop it over here. All right, so I just want to show you that this is what's going to help you create that base. All right, so now what you want to do is fluff this garland, make it look pretty and fluffy like this. I'm going to grab my greeneries and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back, and I found this beautiful greenery pick, you guys, at Walmart, out of all places. It was super affordable. I think it was under $5. And look at all the greens that this has. So what you want to do is grab some of this greenery, and we're going to respect that that spot where our hurricane is going to go. So I'm going to start right here, and remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. And also remember that this is quite a lot of greenery. So what you want to do is cut into pieces, so that way you have a lot of texture. And once you put on the left, just immediately go ahead and spin around to go into the other side, because that was going to create that balance. And look how this one has a lot of greenery. So what I'm going to do is cut into 2 to have even more greenery. So what happens on the right happens on the left. Then what I like to do is I like to go into the corners, and because I insert the corner right here on my left, I'm going to immediately spin around, and I'm gonna cut that corner, and I'm gonna put another one right here on my right. And then I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm gonna grab this, cut it into 2, because that's a lot of product, and that's really going to take it. This is just to give us the texture that we need, you guys. And look, it comes with these beautiful pine cones. I'm telling you, this greenery is so pretty. And look, all you need is 1 stem of this particular greenery. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go up here, and then immediately I'm going to go to my other side right here, inserting. Look, just 1 pick did give us all of that texture. Now I do have this other one. This came from Hobby Lobby. This also can be cut into 2 because it's quite a lot of product, and this is a beautiful cedar that is so fluffy and so, it's just so pretty. And so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna insert this guy right here, and then immediately I'm going to go to the other side, spin around. That's why I'm always telling you that a lacy Susan really does come in handy when you're doing floral arrangements and centerpieces and such. And so now I'm gonna do the corners. I'm gonna do 1 corner right here. Then immediately I'm going to go over to the other corner. And as you guys can see, that's giving us the balance that we need. So far it's looking very textural. And so now I have this other pick. I love this one. This is a pine. What I like about it is because It's molded out of real pine. And so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go one up, one down. Look how pretty. Then I'm gonna spin around, and this one has a lot of paper I'm gonna take out. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing, one up, and see how this one is two of them. All you have to do is pull on it, and those stems come right out. This was a David Christopher's wreath that I took apart, you guys, because I wanted to use it as picks. Sometimes you get more bang for your buck by doing that, by taking all those wreaths apart. They come with all these beautiful laterals, because it really allows you to create beautiful items without having to, well, have just a wreath. All right, so far I love the way this is looking. It's long and low. I'm going to insert this other one right here. I'm gonna bring my poinsettias and I'll be right back. Keep watching. All right, you guys, so at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna bring my candle in and I'm gonna put my hurricane on top of it just to make sure that I'm respecting some of those laterals, like this one right here. I already see that I have to take it out because we have to make sure that that hurricane fits right in. And so what you need to do is just readjust. So also I'm gonna bring out my remote just to make sure that my candle works. Oh, it sure does work. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab some of these beautiful poinsettias. I always like to put a rubber band on them to attach them all together. And look how pretty these are, you guys. These come with a beautiful greenery as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut it in half. I'm going to add the greenery by itself. Look how pretty that is. That adds a lot of texture. And then I'm going to add the poinsettia up here on the top. So I'm gonna grab another one. Some of these ones are bigger ones than the other ones, but I just absolutely love them. This one also I'm going to cut into half because remember what happens on the right happens on the left. So immediately I have to go over to this side and add that. And I'm going to put this one right here. Now I want to explain something real quick. On this one right here, I put the poinsettia on the top and then the greenery towards the bottom. And on this one, I put the greenery towards the top and the poinsettia towards the bottom. And as you guys can see, that creates balance. It's still not the same spot or the same placement, but it's the same spot, and that really makes it look balanced. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut this guy right here, and I'm gonna put this greenery over towards the bottom right here. And then I'm gonna bring this poinsettia, I'm gonna spin around, and I'm gonna put it right here, right by the candle. A little down and out like that. And that's creating our poinsettia triangle. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut this guy right here and I'm gonna put another poinsettia right here. And then this greenery, never pitch the greenery, always use it on your arrangements because the more greeneries, the more natural it looks. And so that allows us to have a more natural looking arrangement. How pretty is this? Now I want to do this long and low, so I've saved some of these beautiful longer poinsettias. I have two of them that are longer than the other ones. I think it's these two right here. And so what you want to do is you want to grab those poinsettias and get them a little fluff because they were in storage. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right here under it and I'm going to create that long form. I'm going to spin around and I'm going to go over to this side. I'm gonna insert my poinsettia right here and see how that gave us that longer form. So now this is a long and low centerpiece that looks absolutely beautiful. All right, so now I'm done with my poinsettias. I'm gonna get a few ornaments and I'll be right back with you. All right, so I'm loving the way this is looking, but we're gonna make it even more festive by adding some beautiful ornaments. And for that, I'm gonna bring out some of this 20 gauge wire. I'm gonna put the rest away. Let me see, 2, 4, I'm gonna do 6 of them. So I'm gonna grab basically 3 of these wires. Once again, remember this is a 20 gauge wire. I'm gonna put away the rest. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut these guys in half, or right around half. And then what you need to do is use those as clips, and I'll show you. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab the end of it and you're gonna fold it in half, about a third. And then you're gonna go through the ornament and you're gonna close this guy right here. And so now we're going to use this as a pick to insert our ornament. So the first one I want it right here by the candle. And all we have to do is make sure that the pick goes all the way in, and look at that. How pretty. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna alternate. I put a glitter one, and so now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna do a shiny one, and I want it to be right on top of that one. So in order to do that, I'm gonna go up like this, and look, they just rest on top of each other. So I'm going to put one right here. Remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. So immediately I'm going to grab one of these ones that is shiny. I'm gonna put the hook through, and then I'm gonna go right here. And remember that we work on sets of 3s, 2s, and 1s. And so for that, I'm gonna let that one rest there. So here's a set of 2, here's 1, and I'm gonna grab yet another one, and I'm gonna put it right here on the bottom. So I'm gonna grab this guy right here and fold. Let me tell you, my ex-boss used to say that there was not a problem in the world that could not be saved with a 20 gauge wire, and I almost lost it. That happens a lot because we push. So what we need to do is just make sure that we either glue it or be more careful when we push, because look, that ornament's gonna stay right there like that. And so now I'm gonna spin around, and I'm gonna go opposite side right here, and I'm going to grab yet another one. I'm gonna be more careful with this one. I'm gonna fold it in half. I'm gonna go through the ornament, and then I'm going to push. Very careful, making sure that I don't, there you go. Look how pretty this is, you guys. Isn't this gorgeous? All right, so now what I have is some of this beautiful berry. So I'm gonna put some of these berries. I'm gonna take them all out of my container. Now I wanna explain these containers, you guys. You can find them at your local craft stores, and look, they're so handy for when you're doing this kind of work. I really do recommend them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of this berry just as an accent. So maybe one right here. Look at that. That just adds a little touch of extra texture, and I just absolutely love it. So I'm gonna add yet another one right here. And then remember, what happens on the right happens on the left, and what goes up must come down. So give them a little bit of a space. Then I'm gonna add yet another one over on this side. This needs to be tucked in because we don't want it to be further out than the poinsettias. So what I'm going to do is just grab one on the top, one on the bottom, like that. Now I need to add a few. You know what, I'm gonna add this longer one over on this side with the long poinsettia, just to support, just to make it help that particular one. Then I'm gonna add yet another one right here. I'm going to add a few on the top because I want it to be all the way around. So remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. Immediately go in there. This is so pretty. And you don't need very many elements. All you needed was a few poinsettias. I'm gonna fluff this one right here. A few ornaments, a few berries, and you got yourself a beautiful centerpiece for Christmas. I'm going to fluff this and give you a close-up. Keep watching. All right, you guys, so this is the end result for this beautiful long and low centerpiece for Christmas. This would be so pretty on your table. Imagine this with a beautiful setting for Christmas dinner. I think it will be so gorgeous. As you guys can see, it's nothing but a few ornaments, poinsettias, and some greenery, and you too can have a beautiful centerpiece for your holiday dinner this year. I cannot wait to read your comments, so be sure to leave me a comment down below. Are you guys enjoying this video? I really hope you are. I want to take a second to invite you to come and join me on my Instagram for daily Insta stories, behind the scenes, and all of the things that you don't get to see here on my YouTube channel. The link to all of my social medias are down below, along with my Etsy shop in case you want to check it out. All right, let's go back to the video. All right, everyone, so now we're going to add our ribbon, and for that I selected a gorgeous selection of beautiful pink, gold, and rose gold ribbons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them down, and this is a beautiful, oh my gosh, this is absolutely gorgeous velvet with a lame back. It's so pretty. Now this particular ribbon right here has some gold, some really beautiful 4-inch gold with the glitter. I love it. And also this mesh ribbon, which is glitter, is just absolutely stunning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you how to add the ribbon to a tree that has clusters of picks like this. So what we're going to do is we're gonna start with the longest ribbon. And so what I'm going to do is just drop it on the floor. I'm gonna give it about a, I want to say an inch, I want to say 20-inch tail. Then we're going to make a bow like this, and just a simple bow with 2 loops like this. And I'm gonna cut right here. We're gonna dovetail at the end, always pinching right here to have that bow like this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab my velvet ribbon, And I'm going to do another tail. And I want that velvet side to be looking up. So what I'm going to do is make a bow. I'm going to twist. And I want now this lame to be the showy part because I want this ribbon to show both of its beautiful parts. So now I'm going to cut right here. So we have 2 loops of the beautiful glitter one, 2 loops of the beautiful lame one. And so now to finish it off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this glitter ribbon and I'm going to do yet another one right here. I'm going to give it a tail about a 10-inch and I'm going to do 1 loop. I'm going to twist and then I'm going to do another loop like this. So now we have this beautiful ribbon with long tails. I'm going to cut right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a wire and I'm going to wire all of this together real quick, pulling back, and then I'm going to attach like this. And what you want to do is fluff that bow. And now we're going to dovetail all of our ends, making sure that all of those ends are dovetailed because they need to look finished. And that's what was going to make your tree look like a designer came to your home and did it. When all of those details show, it just makes it look so beautiful. So now that I have all of these tails, I have this kind of funky bow. What I'm going to do is grab.
I have to do an inspection, folks. Let's see. Okay, we're good.
I guess we're good. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this bow and we're going to add it right here at the head of our cluster. I'm going to grab a bristle and we're going to twist right there. All right, you guys, so here is the end result on this beautiful feminine Christmas tree with the rose gold and gold. And the first thing that I want to feature is these beautiful ornaments. They are oversized and they are just packed with these beautiful diamonds. How absolutely stunning are those? It is probably my favorite thing on this tree. And the ribbons, the way we added the ribbons this time is we did those bows. As you guys can see, this beautiful ribbon with the lame and this one with the glitter. Look how much this glitters. Is that not insane? I love it. And the addition of all of the florals, like the hydrangea, the beautiful roses, it really adds a feminine side to this beautiful Christmas tree. And I just absolutely love the way this turned out. I cannot wait to read your comments, so be sure to leave me a comment down below and let me know what was your favorite part or which Christmas tree so far this season has been your favorite. I also love this one, but as you know, I've done many already and I cannot wait to share more coming soon, so be sure to stay tuned and I cannot wait to read your comments. You can find this beautiful GLAM Christmas tree linked down below. It was one of my favorite Christmas trees that we've done for the Christmas season 2024. But now for our final Christmas DIY, I'm going to share with you a beautiful tip and trick to spruce up a beautiful orchid for your home this Christmas season. Let's take a look. All right, you guys, so now I'm going to share with you how to spruce up a beautiful orchid for Christmas. Orchids are like your staple flower in any well-decorated home. And the other day I went to decorate somebody's house for Christmas and we did this beautiful arrangement. The lady loved it, so I figured I'd share with you a recreation of it. So what we're going to do, first of all, spruce up our beautiful orchid, make sure that it's clean and absolutely gorgeous. Now this was done on real orchids, you guys. It was so elegant. I cannot wait for you to see. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to grab a beautiful bow like this one I made with that encrusted crystal beautiful ribbon, and I'm going to let all of those tails really ding down because I love the way this looks. So I'm going to look right here and insert this right here, and like I said, I wanted to touch the table, so be sure that you let them hang like this. Look how pretty that silver jewel sparkle really catches the light. So I'm gonna add that right there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out some of these flocked pieces that we use in some of our projects today. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add some of these right here to my orchid. I want them to have some flocking in it to kind of tie in with the white of the orchids. So I'm gonna go ahead and do one right here, right there, opposite the bow. I'm gonna add one right here on the bottom. Look how pretty, and just a few to tie in with the white of the orchids, and so it has that touch of holiday, like that. Let me see, do I need one more? I'm gonna add one, maybe right here in between the bow. I'm gonna move it a little bit. I'm gonna tie in like that. You know what? I have one more. Might as well. So I'm gonna put this guy right here. And like I said, this just gives it that extra holiday feel to it with the flocking. So now for the beautiful part. So I'm gonna grab some of the ornaments. I already pre-hooked them on that hook wire that we did. And so I'm going to add one right about here, just inserting, and remember to hang on to it like a pencil so you have a clean insertion, and put on your foam and poke in. Look how pretty, you guys. That catches the light and it looks absolutely stunning. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab yet another one of the smaller ones, and I'm going to make sure it dangles down right under the foliage. So I'm gonna make sure that it goes in the foam and just let it hang down like that. I just don't want it to pop off like the other one did, because these ones are my glass ornaments from Balsam Hill. Look at that, that's tighter. So now I'm gonna go spin around. So I have the bow, the cluster right here, and so I'm gonna create a bigger cluster over on this side. So in order to do that, I went ahead and added one large and one small ornaments. And I'm gonna make sure that that small one goes on the top. I'm going to insert my wire right there, and then carefully I'm going to push down, because remember, we don't want those tops to come off because these are glass ornaments, and they can be done with shatterproof ornaments. However, I feel for an elegant look like this, glass ornaments really do catch the light even better. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add yet another one right here. I want it to rest higher, so I'm going to hang on to my foam right about here. There you go. And just push, push, push until that ornament is placed where you want it. Let me clean real quick and I'll give you a close-up. All right, you guys, so this is an elegant orchid arrangement that is done with a pre-made orchid plant. And as you guys can see, it is super easy to make, absolutely beautiful and holiday. This is something that you may already have laying around the house. And like I said, this is also something that you can do with real orchids. It looks spectacular, it looks holiday, and I just hope that you liked it as much as I did. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I cannot wait to share more with you. So what do you guys think about this brand new batch of Christmas decorating ideas and DIYs for 2024? I cannot wait to read your comments, so be sure to leave me a comment down below and let me know which out of these DIYs for Christmas was your favorite. I have mine, but I'm gonna reserve my opinion to myself because I'm kind of biased. Also, once again, thank you to all of the members that joined this channel this month. Yay, thank you guys for your contribution. If you want to become a member, be sure to click on the link below so you can support this channel this holiday season. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I'm gonna put a playlist right here with many more Christmas decorating ideas and DIYs to inspire you to create beauty around your home this holiday season. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. And as always, you can watch more videos right now. Until next time, bye.